This is fishtracker9000. It's a dashboard that tracks the fish in my fish tank. So basically, we got different patterns here. We have bounding boxes. All this can be toggled. We can turn them off, turn it on. We can add movement patterns. So basically, it tracks where the fish has moved. And it essentially forms lines. Now, we got about 5 fish in this tank right now. So it's pretty light. But we can also add a heat map. And this basically just looks at positional data and decides um, how long a fish has been in a certain area. Another thing is if you're like, if you have bad eyesight or you just can't see, check it out. You can zoom in and look at those lines. It's pretty good. And yeah, my buddy Marcus here is going to talk about some other stuff.
Yeah, so you can see these beautiful visualizations. They're done through Python with OpenCV, but the actual underlying model is trained with the YOLO 11 architecture. And I just found a database of fish and then collapsed them all into one class because it wasn't specifically the beta fish we have. But I collapsed it into one class and trained it with an A100 on YOLO 11, and it worked out pretty well. And we had to do some masking and stuff to prevent detecting reflections, etc. But turned out pretty well. And then I think, Lane, you could talk a little bit more about the
All right, yeah.
sensors.
So basically, the sensors here. This is the TDS sensor, which is measuring like the parts per million in the water, essentially like water clarity. And then we have the temperature sensor here, and that's all being wired into an Arduino Micro, which is reading analog inputs. The temperature sensor is actually directly connected to the GPIO port on the Raspberry Pi. But as you can see, it's all being wired straight to there and sent to a web server where we then read it from it's a Python Flask web server, and we're just reading it to a Python tkinter GUI. So it's pretty chill. We got our fish chilling in here. I think my favorite one's this guy. He's pretty cool. Yeah, and then the webcam setup's right here. So basically, the webcam is looking directly at the fish tank, and then it is cropping out the reflective areas, so we then just read this area.
And the sensors at the top.
Yeah, we don't want to do
Yeah,
this.
the mask with it.
Yeah. Fish Tracker 9000.